thewellnesscouch.com, streaming wellness into your lives. This is Up for a Chat with Cyndi O'Meara, Carren Smith, and Kim Morrison.
Here we are, up for a chat about the hottest topics that are important to you, inspiring you to awaken the change within. I'm Carren Smith.
I'm Kim Morrison.
And I'm Cyndi O'Meara.
And I'm doing some fist pumping. Yeah, baby. So today we're talking about something that Cyndi found, which I just think is profound. What was it called, Cyndi? It's the 22 habits?
It was the 22 habits of unhappy people.
Bless their cotton socks. Do you know what I find most fascinating about this is that there is somebody that has actually done the research on unhappy souls. Like, there must be so many people out there dragging their bottom lips and their knuckles on the ground for somebody to actually think, well, let's figure out what are the top 22 habits. And I wonder if they started off thinking there would be 22, or did they maybe go, let's get the top 5, and then realise there was actually a top 10, and then there was a top 15, and then there was a top 20, and then there was a top 22.
Yeah.
Well, you know that the topic stress, sells more books on Amazon 6 to 1 than it does any other book.
Is that right?
So when you understand that, you realise that these topics, and I think really the point of this, maybe it's not so much that it's a negative thing, thinking about the unhappy people. We all get unhappy. We all get happy. We all feel joy. We all feel sadness. But I think it's the sadness that's so flippin' painful. It's so painful. We don't actually want to be there. So maybe then it becomes more of a significant topic in the fact that we don't want to be there. Maybe that's what it's about.
I reckon as humans we spend so much time resisting life that for the most part we only experience joy against a background of pain. Honestly, and that's quite serious, but I really do think that. I think that we spend so much time resisting what is and resisting life. I want more money, I want another car, I want a different house, I want this, I want that, I don't have this, I don't have that. We spend so much time wanting something other than what we've got that when we do get joy, it's temporary, it's momentary, and it's only as a contrast against the rest of what pain is. I actually question or wonder, do we even know what joy is? Do we know what it is, or do we only know the contrast of pain and not pain? Is joy to us not pain? And is happiness to humans not being not happy? Do you know what I'm saying? It's a perplexing question.
It's a very perplexing question, and I'd hate to think that our joy is just lack of pain. I would hope that it's far greater
than that.
Yeah. And that's why when I saw it and I read the whole 22, I went, well, let's make it positive. Let's look at the 22 habits of happy people, so I thought, well, it's got to be the direct opposite, because we know that, don't we? It's the feeling of joy is a lack of pain. Well, maybe that's not the case, and maybe I did that all wrong in the end. You know,
you put this
when you look at it that way.
You put this on your Facebook page.
I put it on my Facebook page, and then what I did was I went, well, perhaps this is the 22 habits of unhappy people. Therefore, if we reverse those habits around and we do the 22 habits of happy people.
Yeah.
So instead of looking at the negative, we do the positive.
Yeah. Well, do you think we could go through the 22 and maybe investigate both sides and see what comes up?
That'd be good.
Yeah. And why don't we invite all of our listeners at the end of today's podcast to go to our Facebook page and create their own top 22 habits of happiness.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love
Well,
that.
for some there might be 5, for some of them might be 20. Let's say
We'll
just
collate
your top.
them. Just give us your top and we'll collate them. We'll come up with the list. We'll come up with a top 22 list of happiness. A lot. So what's the first one, Miss Cyndi?
Well, we go to the negative first.
Yeah.
So the unhappy. So number 1 is chronic complaining.
Well, we know those types in our lives, don't we?
It's usually mother-in-law just saying, I never said that. I love my mother-in-law.
It's like when we always talk about this, what you focus on, you get. So if you're chronically complaining...
Did I just complain then?
No, you didn't.
I think I did.
No, I think you made a joke. I think it's just a joke.
Okay.
Or was that just a complaint turned into a joke, therefore we make it okay?
Oh, see, now we're in a rabbit hole. But I do love my mother-in-law. I was actually joking.
Yeah.
But true, good point, that. Anywho, back to the point.
Sarcasm's the lowest form of wit.
Apparently.
My friend's mother always says.
And often a true word is spoken in jest, my mother said.
Yes.
What you are.
Motherisms.
Hey, now that's another podcast.
Yes, I have dadisms.
Oh.
I definitely have. My dad has so many good isms, so...
That's another podcast, yeah.
We'll do dadisms, motherisms, grandma-isms. Yeah, but my dadisms are brilliant. Yeah, just brilliant. But anyway, so chronic complaining. So the opposite to chronic complaining is stop complaining. It's really easy.
Just stop it.
Just stop it.
I think the important thing around a complaint, and we were talking about this off air before we went in here, is actually maybe it's not so bad to complain, and I don't even think of any of these negatives are really that negative. It's probably more about the awareness of that negative thought or that negative complaint, or because sometimes it's good just to get it off your chest. I think sometimes having a little whinge or having a little complaint every now and again.
I had a little whinge when I walked in here, and I read this first one. I went,
okay, let's
all right, I'm a chronic complainer.
I confess.
My name is Cyndi O'Meara.
My name is Cyndi O'Meara, and I'm a chronic complainer today. Or this morning. Or just before the podcasting.
About 10 minutes ago.
I now stop complaining.
But that's the point, isn't it? So I think we can, rather than fight any of these or think that you're bad for doing them, maybe there's a thing around the awareness of it, and therefore how do we present ourselves or pick ourselves up when we're doing it? Because to me, that's when I catch myself, is when I'm doing something, and often it's your kid or your partner or those closest to you that go, oh, you always complain, or you always say that. You know, you don't realise you're doing it until... and I just had this thought then, I had this flashback to high school. Oh my God.
She's actually gone there. She's gone all the way back.
All I remember, and I've just gone blank with his name, but he used Mr. something or other. He used to stand there and he'd be writing on the board and he'd go, all right, no, all right, all right. And one day I sat there and I passed a note to my friend and went, he said 22 all rights in the last minute. Then our focus became all right. And then that note went around all the class and we all started counting and all timing, and he turned around and went, what's the problem? And we all stood there and he goes, well, there's nothing wrong. Let's get back to it, all right? And the whole class lost it. But what I'm saying is sometimes we don't even realise there's an issue until it's highlighted. So around complaining, what are some of the typical complaints? Never have enough time, never have enough money. You know, I saw a post today and it's someone we know, and I don't think they'd mind me sharing, but she wrote that, you know, what is it with kids? You know, you wake up to meditate and the next minute they're running around wild and they found a whistle. I didn't even know we owned a whistle in the house. And she was really grumpy and really annoyed. And in that moment I chuckled because I thought, oh my gosh, how often is it when you've got young children, do you ever get the time to focus on you, really? But rather than complain about it, I just went straight into, maybe it's because I'm out the other end, but it was like, oh my gosh, because at the other side I read a quote on Facebook of a lady that was celebrating the anniversary of the loss of her toddler. And there was a part of me that went, oh my gosh, she'd probably give anything to have her kid blow a whistle while she was trying to meditate. Yeah. So again, it comes back to perspective.
Yeah, I think there are some people, depending on how they grew up, depending on how their family environment was and what their parents were like and what their grandparents were like and the parents before them, because we only really know what we learn, really. And if we grow up in an environment where complaining is the natural mode of conversation and talking about other people and, you know, all of that sort of stuff, then we don't really learn anything other than that. You know, I think back to school, when you were talking about school, just reminded me of when I went back to school, when I was at school. There were groups of girls that unless you were going to talk about everybody else and complain about the school and complain about the teachers and complain about the tuck shop and complain about the food, you kind of didn't fit in. It was just one of those cliques that was just only about complaining. And I'll actually remember, and it was actually really hard to be friends with them. I was friends with them for a little while, and I found it really exhausting. I think because I'm too playful.
Yeah.
I mean, there are definitely things that I'll complain about, Matt, no mistake about it, but I think because I'm too playful, I found being in that energy really draining. And I think that's really the end result. You know, everybody knows people that when you're in their company, they bleed you dry.
It's called the vampire effect.
Yeah, because they just can't see life any other way. And it's not just occasionally, it's constantly. It's constantly. I think the occasional complaint, most of us recognise when we're doing it. But it's for those people who are chronic complainers, and that's the way that they live their life perpetually. Man, oh man, that's exhausting, hey?
Do you think that those people...
And you are not that, Cyndi. Let us just put that right out there right now.
That's why I think when you're aware of it, it's not such an issue, and it's okay. I think it's okay to have a bleed. But you're right, actually, because some people, even in our circles, I notice that I always think now, before I go and see them, I wonder what they're going to be complaining about today.
Oh, I take a vitamin B before I go.
And I just realised that I say that. I wonder what the drama is or the complaint is today. Like, life for them is always a drama and a complaint.
See, I find that incredibly irritating, though.
I find it quite challenging. You know what I do? I love it because when I go there, I always think then, oh, I wonder how I can turn this into a happy situation. Wonder how I can turn their thoughts around to seeing the positives or another
side. Does it ever work?
Yeah.
It does. Oh, good for you.
But it's the only way
you're good at that. I agree. I think you're good at that. I see you turn things around. I see you turn things around too.
I just avoid that.
Do you?
I don't go to those people's places.
Oh, you don't go?
I don't go.
No, but it's hard when it's family or people that are close to you.
Of course.
It's hard to avoid it. So
that's true.
You know, and that's where the challenge lies, is how you can actually do it with people that are in your circle. You can't choose them sometimes.
So let's throw a challenge out. Let's do it. So we're going to do the 22 habits of happy and unhappy people. So we're just reversing it. So that's 22 days. So from this day onwards, and if it's in the evening that they're listening to this, let's say as of tomorrow, the first thing that we do for the day is we do not complain about one thing. We make a real concerted effort for that one day.
What a great idea.
To not complain about a thing.
And I'll keep a tab of that on Facebook. So I'll put it on there every day and go, okay, how are we going with not complaining? So the day this podcast goes to air will be day one. Complain. Or maybe we'll make the following day.
I think the following day we'll make it. It'll go to air on Tuesday. Yeah. So we'll start on Wednesday and we'll say today is non-complaining day. And then, and we go through each of them. And
or do we give everybody that week to listen to the podcast? Because some people don't listen to the podcast till the end. So do we start the following Monday?
They can then just make notes. Okay. Because, there are people that listen to us straight away. It comes down and we get texts and they can't believe it. I seem to remember getting a text from one girl saying, laughing her head off at Tim and Ness's one in your Dawnbreaker.
That was within the hour of it being
released. That was within the hour of being released. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's too funny. She's listening to us now. Yeah. So you want to do that? So we were talking about challenges. Let's create a challenge about it. And what about though? So you guys threw out that if you go to someone and they're complaining, that you can't get into their complaining. Yeah. If you have gone there and somebody's complaining about something, you have to try and think of. It's almost like you're going to have to print. Don't complain on your hands. Just to remind you, because our life gets in the way. Yeah. We think we're going to do something right, and we lose it. We go, it's like a default thing. Yeah. We default back into our life.
And maybe you might even want to wear a band on your hand for these 22 days. And then if someone asks you, you can say, oh, hang on, sorry, I'm just practicing non-complaining to the complainer.
Get a piece of yellow wool. Go to the local spotlight or the local shop and get a piece of yellow wool and tie that piece of yellow wool or yellow string around your hand.
For 22 Make it quite long so that you can strangle the person that's annoying.
If necessary. Because yellow is the colour of surrender.
So it's actually about being aware. Yellow is the colour of surrender.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and white. So do that. So yellow line.
Everyone's got a yellow band, and then we start the next.
And you could power in these these challenges with an oil too. So you could actually choose an oil of the day. So for those of you into aromatherapy, then what I'd love you to post also is the oil that you've chosen that day to anchor in the non-complaining.
Do we have oils that can do that?
Yeah.
Can you think, like you tell us one oil. Let's do an oil to each one of these.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. So chronic complaining, what are we using?
Well, I would probably go for something like geranium, which is a very balancing oil. So it's a really good reminder, because when we're complaining, we're out of well, actually for all of these, we're out of context really. But the first one that's coming to mind for me is geranium. So let's put that one down there.
So geranium and yellow.
Yes.
Okay, for awareness.
Okay.
Okay, so the second habit of an unhappy person is that they think that buying stuff is going to make them happy. So retail therapy.
It does, doesn't it? I don't agree with this one. No.
Okay, my name's Carren and I'm a chronic buyer.
But you've said that before on podcast. When you're stressed, Matt, do not make me cross.
Oh, absolutely. Do not fight with me because I will buy.
Whereas I'm the opposite.
Right.
I'm the exact opposite. I need to go out. I don't want to buy. I don't want to go near a shop. I don't want to go near anything. If I'm, not doing well, I want to go to the beach. I want to have an experience.
Yeah, right.
So the opposite that I put down is create experiences.
And I believe that is far healthier than the addiction of purchase.
Create a retail experience.
I don't know. No, because it's actually quite addictive, purchasing.
Just scrub what Kim Morrison just said.
Okay.
Create a retail experience. Ha ha, Kim.
To create, go ahead and create a romantic experience with yourself.
Yeah.
Or even for me the other day, normally I go to the supermarket on a Saturday and get all my supermarket done. But now I've got into the real habit of going to the markets. Going to the markets was a retail experience, but there was something different. So maybe if you are a retailer shopper, maybe if you find it too hard to pull away from that, maybe try and make it back to something more holistic, more wholesome, more grounding.
Well, I don't know if the retail therapy includes food, as far as the farmers' markets and
But
things
I
like
like
that.
flowers.
Yeah, I think that's... they're talking about materialistic things. Look, I read it. Life is about experiences. However, so many people get caught up in the materialistic items that they forget what truly makes us happy. Sure, the latest gadget may make you feel good for the evening, but the high is temporary, and you will be back chasing the retail high shortly after. Get out and experience the world. If you can't afford to get away, become a tourist in your own city. Skydive, bungee jump, go to the beach alone, take a hike on an unknown trail, go up to a complete stranger and invite them out for coffee. Cute. They'd have to be cute though, wouldn't they? There's a bit of a
I'm thinking, well, who does that?
Someone did that to me, I would think, weirdo.
Read a book.
But how cool, what a challenge.
What a challenge. What a challenge. Or read a book. There are so many things you could be doing that will enrich your life that doesn't involve buying things. And for me, I actually think farmers markets and going and getting food, coming home and creating
I love it.
the most beautiful foods. Like I do my pestos and my mayonnaises. So if you must spend, then go and spend it on really, really good, healthy, holistic foods or essential oils or something like that is going to create an experience. Not necessarily go out and buy the latest gadget or a new car or a new dress or new shoes.
Yeah, I think it's different.
I think it's very different.
Because I think when you go out to the farmers markets, it's more about self-care. And it's more, that is an experience. It's a sensory overload of beautiful foods and flowers and garlics and, all of that sort of stuff. It's
Yeah, but I still think that if you are someone who does stress and go shopping, going to a market would be a better place than going to the mall. So, to me, I still think that would help people have a different approach to what they're spending their money on. It's being aware, again.
Yeah, it is.
And the best oil for that when you go shopping is basil. basil oil. It's very good for focus and for clarity. So if you want to buy one pair of shoes or 2 pairs, it'll help you decide. No, I'm only kidding. But it'll help you.
Maybe 8.
But basil is a beautiful, clarifying, very, very positive oil. And I use that often when I go shopping. And the other thing is, don't go shopping hungry.
Oh, yeah, or tired.
Or tired, yeah.
Yeah, don't go shopping hungry or tired. But anyway, we're getting out of the retail therapy and we're going to creating experiences. And those experiences might be a weekend away with friends, a weekend away with your husband, a weekend away with your partner, you know, like what you did on Melbourne Cup instead of gambling, Carren. You know, you went and spent time with yourself. And
I did. I went to a day fun. It was quite fabulous.
Such a good idea.
I did. That's an experience.
Yeah.
That's not accumulation. Like I know the other day I've been home alone for the last couple of weeks, and I've had Brogan, my son, and Michael, I would call him my foster son. They were home with me for about 4 days, and we had such a good time. We made beautiful foods, and we just laughed and had a lot of good times. And they were moving down to the Gold Coast, so they packed up all their things while I was at work, and I came home to an empty house.
So sad.
I cried. I cried. I got into the house and had a tear and went, right, snap out of it, slapped myself. I said, why don't you declutter? Just declutter your wardrobe, clean out, maintain, do some maintenance. So some things needed doing in the house. And when the boys are around, it's really hard to do those things because you want to be with them. So I thought, this is what I'll do, stay moving, keep going. So that's what I did.
Nice.
And then yesterday I thought, well, I need a new dress. So I went out. I need dresses. All my dresses are just habit. And so I thought, well, I'll go out and go buy a dress. Well, I didn't find one.
Really?
No, I didn't find anything. And I was like, surely I can find one dress.
Okay, so what was the experience around that then for someone like you? Because someone that is a retail shopper who uses it as a form of to try and make themselves happy, did you come home less happy, more happy, or you were okay?
No, I was okay. I just thought, well, I didn't find one. I'll just deal with, recycling the ones that I did have. Because that's when I cleaned out my wardrobe, I went, gee, I only have a couple of dresses, and I love wearing dresses in the summer.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I've got shorts and T-shirts. It was so funny. I walked into work the other day, and Lizzie, who does our accountant stuff, so she sees me walk in, and I've got a pair of jeans on with a belt and a T-shirt. And she says, going for the lezo look today, Cyndi.
Oh, my God! Did she?
She did.
Oh, she's funny.
So all of a sudden, I looked at my wardrobe, and it's T-shirts and jeans and T-shirts and shorts and T-shirts and 3/4. And I went, right, and maybe it was her saying you need a bit of femininity that I went, I'm going to go buy myself a dress, go out and get a dress.
Yeah.
Maybe it was that. But no, I wasn't unhappy because I've got some dresses that I can use. So.
Yeah, and for people that probably too, where this becomes stressful and makes people unhappy is when we can't afford to go shopping. They go and rack up bills on the credit card, and then there's that horrible buyer's remorse maybe afterwards. But so just back to the experience and what he was saying, for a lot of people to make themselves feel good, they'll go and buy things.
Yeah.
So what you're pointing people at is to create experiences.
Yeah.
That was what you were...
Yeah, and experiences can be like asking a friend to go for coffee or let's go down to the beach. Remember Kim, I don't know what we were doing, and you just said, let's go to the beach and get some vitamin D. And so we went down there, and I think we laid in the wind and got sand in our ears, and it was a really nice day.
Oh, that was the windswept experience.
But look at us, we're laughing about it now. Like I'm on my side going, I'll just let my back get the wind and I'll protect you, Kim.
Oh, it was funny. I love it.
It was hilarious.
So the next one is our binge drinking. You've got bring drinking here.
It's corrective typing.
Got you.
Bring drinking.
Bring drinking. I'm going, okay, no problems.
And what I put as an opposite was 1 at 5, because 1 at 5 is one of the things that the blue zones are all about. So what the blue zones are people who live to 100 plus, happy, healthy, without disabilities. And what's his name? Buettner, I think his name is the name of the book, Blue Zones and Buettner. Buettner went to each of these blue zones to figure out, well, what is it that these people do that are similar?
Yeah.
And it was 1 at 5. And 1 at 5 is where everybody sits down. It could be a cup of tea at 5. But everyone sits down, takes time out, contemplates the day before they start the meal plan. So that's why I put wine at 5.
Oh.
Yeah, I did wine at 5. So it could be a cup of tea at 5. It could be, like, it's a ritual, isn't it, Kim?
Yeah.
It's a ritual. Instead of binge drinking where you go out, you get plastered, and you drink and drink and drink until you have no idea, you know, what life's about. And then you wake up with a hangover and you've lost your whole day. I don't get it. I do not get binge drinking one bit, and I know that it's huge in this society.
It's a big part of the Australian culture, I think. But I think that maybe with a bit of education and more experience tends to. I think the older you get, the less likely you want to binge drink, purely because you just feel so crap. Really, you just feel like hell. I went out the other night for a late night at that ball, the ball that us 3 went to. I got home at about 12:30 or something because I drove somebody home. Woke up in the morning and I thought, well, thank goodness I didn't drink last night, because if I was to wake up this tired and hungover,
I know.
I'd want to throw myself off a bridge.
I know.
It would be unbearable. Matt and I went out for dinner on the weekend with a girlfriend for a girlfriend's birthday, and I think I had 3 champagnes. Oh, for goodness sake, because I don't drink.
Oh, yeah, that'd be like having a bottle.
Oh, good grief. And then the next day I had to get up and renovate. Oh, I felt dreadful. So I can't even begin to... Well, I can imagine, because I used to do it a lot when I was younger, but that binge drinking mentality...
What is it, Carren? Why
everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing
just because everybody else is doing it, why do people do it? I actually look at people who binge drink.
Yeah.
And you know, whether they become amorous or whether they become angry or whether they become just foolhardy or great, you know, I don't understand the whole keep drinking. Like, if I have a drink and it makes me a little bit dizzy, that's it for me. I don't like to be out of control. I don't want to be out of control. I don't want to lose a day in my life. I don't want to feel like crap.
I think there could potentially be 2 reasons. I think the first reason is relatively superficial. Like, if I look at even the younger kids coming through now, you know, they are all wanting to have a drink by the time they're 14, 15, and then usually at home their parents will give them a wine or they'll give them a beer or something, so they start to develop a taste for it. Because in the very beginning, beer and wine taste like crap.
It does.
It tastes terrible, and like spirits burns on the way down. So it's like you have to get the acquired taste for it. But I think that a lot of people do it because, you know, it's fun. Like when lots of people do it together with music playing and there's dancing and you kind of lose yourself. So I think from a superficial perspective, I think there's a fun component about that our young kids are wanting. And because they can't do it until they reach a certain age, you always want what you can't have. So they reach a certain age and then bang, it's on. And then, you know, binge drinking just becomes a natural way of going out. That's how you go out on a Friday and Saturday.
It's also cheaper.
Well, yeah. But then on a deeper level, I also think that, you know, this is very deep, but I also think that we as people, I think that we live these lives that are so unsatisfactory that our most wonderful escape is to completely lose ourselves and welcome drugs and alcohol. Because I think, you know, life is pretty stressful. And I look at everybody that I know that's my age and even younger, if they'll, on a Friday night, they want to go down to the bar or down to the pub, they say, oh, I just need a beer, I need a beer. And I think, why do you need a beer? And I've asked the question, why do you need a beer? Because it's been such a hard week, I just need to have a few beers and relax. And that's their way of relaxing. So they can't actually go down and sit with friends without the beer. It's the beer that makes them relax, because it's the beer that takes them out of themselves.
Which means no one's really happy with who they are in the moment.
And therein lies the conundrum of humanity, I would suggest. It's very deep, but I do actually think that there's a part of truth in that, if not a whole truth.
And it's not just our young. You see,
it's everybody.
It's everybody. It's every age group. They just keep drinking and drinking and drinking throughout the night, and to the point where they can't talk, they slur.
I've got friends that are in their 80s.
And they do it.
And they are drunk. Saturday night, their kids come over, and they've got little kids.
The grandies.
So you know, the older ones, the grandparents, and their kids come over on a Friday night, and they bring their young kids with them. and they sit and get smashed.
It's their culture and tradition.
And they've been doing that since...
And it's habitual.
Forever.
It's habitual. So the opposite is that wine at 5. But if you don't want a wine at 5, it's a cup of tea. And when you do go out, give it a go. See if you can get high on life, not high on alcohol. I always remember as a teenager going through university, all my friends would drink. But I was always behind the bar, the other side of the bar. So I had a job in the party bar, pub, and I would be feeding them their alcohol because, that's what it was. I was feeding it to them. Then by the time I finished work, which was usually midnight, and we all went to a party, they were all half-carb.
Yeah.
But I would still have fun.
You'd have fun laughing at them all.
And maybe that's what it was, because they were comical. And they would get up and dance, and I'd dance with them as a crazy girl with them because I didn't look like the odd one out, but I was having just as much fun, I felt.
If you think about it, if we are really looking at all the different personalities of who we are and what we're born with and we've done podcasts on this, 1/4 of the population are what we call sanguines or playful type stuff. So I'd say wine at 5 is ring a playful girlfriend or ring someone that is quite sanguine in their personality, because there is 25% of the population has that and they don't need to drink. And if you give them one drink, oh my gosh, they're just even more playful.
Yeah.
So if you think about it,
I call that silly as a wheel.
If you think about it, 3/4 of the population are not that type, which maybe then when we have alcohol, it brings out that sense of playfulness and that sense of light and easy, and maybe that's what they're craving with a beer. And so if that's the case, then maybe all you need to do at 5 o'clock is find a sanguine in your life, because they'll make things funny without alcohol.
So find a playful. I think that's a nice idea. I remember there was a person that I spoke to many, many moons ago, and they were trying to get themselves off taking drugs when they went out. They would do the ecstasy and the cocaine when they went out. And we were having a conversation about it, and I said, so why do you do it? And this particular person said, because I hate who I am when I'm not on them. I don't like who I am. And when he wasn't on them, he was very quiet, very, very introverted, didn't say much, really didn't, speak his truth, really never actually said what was on his mind, and, was probably quite frustrated a lot of the time. But when on Friday night and a Saturday night, when he had his, little cocktail, he was out there.
And actually, you could probably put in binge drinking and drug taking.
I think so too.
Yeah,
I definitely think so.
Binge drinking and drug taking.
Because either way, it's addictive.
Yeah.
Really, isn't it?
Whereas it should be wine at 5 and high on life.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
High on life.
You want to get high on life? Listen to the podcast.
Yeah, high on life.
Yeah, and maybe that's the anchor there, is at 5 o'clock there's something that makes you laugh, or something that gives you laughing is one of the best, most highest ways of... Aww.
And you know what? There's some great radio programs as well as podcasts, and there's comedy shows. Oh my gosh, there's so many good comedy shows.
Oh my god!
She's just got something. She's writing on her hand.
I'm gonna tattoo that on my forehead.
Laugh at 5.
Life at 5.
Laugh at 5.
At 5 p.m. every day. That will be.
Oh my gosh! What a great thing that we could create energetically.
Shut the front door.
All right. So number 1, we've got the first day was stop complaining. The second day was create experiences. Third day, you must laugh at 5.
Yeah. Everybody, we all got
Everybody must laugh at 5. And then you must continue all of these on, we're just accumulating, but we're all going to laugh. We're not going to do a wine at 5, we're going to do a laugh at 5.
I am tattooing that on my forehead, and every day at 5 o'clock, that will be my moment to laugh.
We're going to have to set alarms. Everybody set alarms.
Done.
Yeah.
And chances are I will ring you girls.
All right.
Did we choose an oil? Have I said an oil?
No oil yet.
So I'm saying orange. Orange is the happy oil.
Oh, yeah.
Orange is the oil for celebration. Orange is the oil for laughing. Orange is the oil for feeling really good about yourself.
And I know where to get the orange in. Orange, chocolate, and laugh at 5.
Well, we know chocolate, magnesium releases serotonin.
Yep. And we know how to make our own chocolate with the orange oil.
I love it.
I've been stealing Kim's pen, and here's my pen right here.
Dog, it's a pink dog.
Yeah, my pen's a pink dog, and you pull his little bum off, and there's the pen. See? I got it from the Peter Alexander
of course.
pajama place.
Of course.
Okay, so what's next?
Okay.
Worrying about the future.
Read it to us. What it says
versus
about worrying.
staying in the present.
Okay, so worrying about the future. No matter what you do, you only have so much impact on what the future has in store for you. Could you get laid off? Maybe. Could you catch a life-threatening disease? Yep. The thing is, you have very little control over whether or not these things happen. So why spend your time worrying about it? As long as you have a reasonable game plan and are living responsibly, you should be focused on what is going on in your life right now. Yeah. Focus on what you are doing this second. If you hate it, do something else right now. I'm looking outside. It's sunny. My cat is rubbing up against my leg. I couldn't be happier. It's true. It's true. If you think, we've often talked about this, haven't we? Is that when you're in the moment, like right now, here in the moment, I'm as happy can be. Couldn't be happier. And with my two best girlfriends, we're chatting about the most amazing things, 22 things that make us happy, habits that make us happy. And as long as you're not thinking about what's going on in the outside world, which there is a lot of crap happening out there. Like somebody posted on my wall today, something horrible. And not about me, but something horrible happening on another side of the world, which... And like, yes, at that moment I'm sad, but let's get out of that moment and let's go to where we are right now.
There's always another moment.
Yeah.
There's I don't know if you've seen The Matrix.
Yes. Oh, I love that film.
Yeah, it's my favourite. I've only seen it 43 times.
Oh, jeez.
There's nothing wrong with me, not really.
No, not at all.
We were talking
Mr. Anderson.
A little obsessive.
Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson. And there's a part in The Matrix where he's... Oh, there's actually quite a number of parts, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Really?
Yeah, but there's this part, and I don't know if it's in part 1 or part 2 or part 3. I think it's part 2, perhaps. Anyway, he's right at the very end of the movie, and he runs. Neo is running for his life to get away from, what's his name? The Sentinel.
Yeah.
And Neo starts to see that everything turns into hieroglyphics, into the green writing. And then he starts to see, hang on a second, I've been so worried and I've been running for my life and I've been so scared because everybody else told me to be so scared and everybody else told me to run for my life. And he turns around and he goes, no, I won't run. And he turns around and all of the programs are shooting bullets at him and he just puts his hand up. And as he puts his hand up, all the bullets stop mid-flight and just drop to the ground. And he actually, in that moment, recognises that in the moment is when he's at his most powerful. Mm. And when he's in the moment, he can stop everything and he can start anything. Mm. And it's at that point that the movie comes to an end where he dives inside Smith. Yeah, Smith is the program. So he dives inside Smith and breaks him up and all this stuff. And it's so cool. But it's like...
the most powerful
is in the moment.
In the moment.
Yeah, he recognises that, and it's so profound because I remember thinking when he puts his hand up, he stops all the bullets, and I thought, God, when you stand in the moment and you put your hand up and you just say, no more. Mm. Been there, done that, got the T-shirt on, and I've been running around for the last 2 movies. I've been fighting for my life for the last 2 movies. No more. No, not doing it.
And most people are either in the past or in the future. Yeah. They're never in their very present. And the power of now with Eckhart Tolle, everybody's talking about it, and it's not an easy one to practice. Mm-mm. But if you catch yourself, like when I'm swimming, I might have my thoughts going elsewhere, and all of a sudden I go, let's watch my hand come through the water and then go through the other side, and wow, there's that building there. But if you are in the moment, if you are in that moment, it is actually, there's no fear, except that the shark went past, then okay, we have fear there.
And there's actually, when you're in the moment, your thoughts stop.
Ah, yes, interesting.
Yeah. There's I don't know if I've said this on the podcast before, have I? That movie, or there's a book called The Way of the Peaceful Warrior by Dan.
I love The Way of the Peaceful Warrior too.
Yeah, there's a movie
and a book.
At the very end, I don't know if I've said this on a podcast, so please forgive me if I have.
I don't ever remember you talking about this book anymore.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, at the very, very end, I won't divulge the story, but at the very, very end, he's doing his thing. Dan Millman's doing his thing, and the first thought that he gets is, "Where am I, Dan?" And he says, "I'm here." He says, "What time is it?" "It's now." "What's real?" "This." So you only ever now, you only ever here, and there's only ever this. And I started running again, and of course I haven't run for so long and I'm so unfit. So I'm running and I'm just trying to push myself past, just to try and increase my fitness. So I'm pushing myself past what I'm running at. And I'm going, I'm just here. There's only this and there's only now. It's just here, there's only this, there's only now. It's only now, there's only this. Because when I'm anticipating getting home, then I think, oh, it's too far. I just need to stop and walk for a bit. Or if I'm anticipating running to the next light post or the next tree, I go, oh, no, good heavens, who would do this to themselves? So then I stop. But if I don't do that and I don't anticipate a future, I don't anticipate an end, I just stay in the here and the now with this, I managed to get up 6 kilometres. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Do you know what's really interesting is that I went to a new coffee shop today in Malulaba, and I walked into this coffee shop. It's very rustic, really rustic.
Ooh,
and I walked into the coffee shop, and there was this table with a cup of coffee and a book, but no human being. And guess what the book was?
Oh.
Not The Way of the
Peaceful Warrior.
Oh, this is so funny you brought that up.
Oh, goosebumps.
Yeah. I know. And it was just the book had obviously been read, and somebody had flipped it over, on its cover, and split it out. A cup of coffee was it, but there was no human being there. And I looked at the book, and I got a beautiful feeling because I love the movie and I love the book, The Way of the Peaceful Warrior by Dan Millman. Yeah. And then you bring that up today.
Maybe it's time for us to read it again.
Oh, let's read it.
Maybe it is.
We need to
watch
watch
the movie.
Chat book club.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God. I could so do that.
Oh my gosh. Book club, movie club. Actually make it. What can we all do? All
right, let's talk about this in another podcast. All right, we'll have to stay tuned. We'll have to stay tuned for that because we will talk about that in another one.
Shut the front door.
Book, movie, audio.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, the audios will only be the podcast, so.
Yeah.
What do you mean listen to a book? There's nothing else to listen to.
All right, so we're staying in the present is the positive of that.
And the oil for that, one of the most beautiful things, oils for worrying, is frankincense. So frankincense is the oil for fears or fear of what might happen. It's also one of those beautiful oils that's used in rituals all the time, and it's ancient uses. It's the resin of the tree. It's like the life force. It's like being in touch with the centre of gravity, the centre of soul, the centre of self. So frankincense is definitely an oil that I use whenever when Taylor was really little and she was having a few bad dreams there for a while, that was one of the oils that I always pulled out, and she called it angel fairy dust oil. So I think it has that feeling. So when we go into worrying, we're worrying about something that could happen, would happen, should happen, might not happen. So there's no point, it's not there. That's the oil to keep you grounded, but also keep you in that focus. It's a beautiful oil. I've got it in the blend. It's in the background.
I love frankincense. I absolutely love it. So, okay, so that was the 4th habit.
Yeah.
Ready for the 5th habit?
Yep.
Yes. Waiting for the future. So, I'm trying to find the person who wrote this, and do you know I cannot see his name? So, I will look for it and make sure everybody knows, and we can credit it to this person.
So this is saying waiting for the future, a bad habit of an unhappy person.
This is this is the habit of an unhappy person. Yeah. So what I did is I said keep moving forward. And I do know this is that Howard, my husband, his daughter, my stepdaughter, she was in a really bad place as far as didn't know where to go, what to do, how to do it, or anything like that. And he just kept saying, no matter what you do, keep moving forward. Just keep moving. Keep doing things. Just sit at home.
1 foot in front of you.
Yeah, 1 foot in front of the other. Go and, do an experience or go learn something. Or he was always saying, just whatever you do, just keep moving. So this is what this person says. It says, much like worrying about the future, many people focus on future events instead of what is going on right now.
The chain of thought usually starts like this. When you're in high school, you think you will be happy when you graduate. Once you've graduated, you think you'll be happy once you land your first job. Once you have your dream job, you think you'll be happy when you get married. And then when you're happy, it'll be when, you think you'll be happy when you have kids. Once you've got kids, you think you'll be happy when you move out of the house or when they move out of the house. Next, it will be when they have kids. Before you know it, you will have spent your entire life waiting for events to bring you happiness, just to realise life and happiness have passed you by.
And your life becomes a photo album.
Yeah. But it is true. Everyone keeps saying, "Oh, I'll be happy when."
Totally.
I'll be happy when. So mine was just keep moving forward. Be happy now. Just.
I think that's really profound, Cyndi, to keep moving forward, because one thing always leads to another, doesn't it? I mean, it doesn't matter what you do or what you choose to do, it always leads to something else. And there's never a mistake or there's never a wrong turn. It's just that if you stop, well, you're not really stopping, are you? I mean, there's only ever forward or backwards, because if you're stopping, you're going backwards. So I think that's really good.
The analogy, cool. Cliff Young always used to say that to me when I was running, doing my ultras. And life is an ultra-marathon. There is some really tough times and blisters and chafing and hitting walls, but there's also the euphoricity of... I always think of you whenever I say those words.
Ism.
But
that's a Carrenism.
Yeah. When I was having moments off the track, wanting to quit, it hurt, nothing mattered, and I was in that... I was really present, by the way, but I was very present to the pain and the agony of it and just wanting to quit. I'll never forget him coming into the pit stop tent and saying, "You know what, life's passing you by anyway. The race is still going on with or without you in it. So you might as well just get up and put one foot in front of the other, and at least then you're moving forward. I'm not saying run." He said, "I'm not even saying sprint. Just get out there and put one foot in front of the other." And I'd never forgotten that. And whenever I'm feeling challenged or worried or fearful or stuck, one of my outlets is going for a walk or going for a run or just getting outside, or like you did the other day, decluttering. Just take action. Sometimes a 20-minute nana nap can work too for people, or going and having an actual rest, because we know when the mind has the ability to rest from the stresses of everything, you actually recharge in another way. Go and light a vaporizer. Prepare a beautiful meal. I think that's the challenge on all of these unhappy things, and probably we all do this quite naturally. I'm not saying that we're flipping brilliant at it, but I'm just saying whenever I feel those feelings, I want to go and do something. I do want to keep moving forward, and I think that is a really beautiful thing. Whenever I see even any of you guys, if you're in a state or you're in a bad place, you're not someone that I'd go, "Oh, I don't want to go around there. She'll be really quiet. She won't want to talk. It's not like that. It's like, well, what can we go and do?
Yeah.
What can we do?
And it's usually pretty animated, our conversations, and they don't end up negative. They end up very positive, and just looking at a new spin on it. It's about, keeping moving and doing things, because I'm just thinking back, as you were thinking back, I was actually thinking back too. So I remember at 18 living in Bendigo, starting a science degree, and the first, I think, till June. And then I went, I don't want to do this. I don't want to stay in Bendigo. So I went to the snow. And then the snow got me interested. So I went into the season at the snow. So then the snow got me interested in nutrition and health because of my boss, and because I met these two people who owned a health food store. And those two people employed me in Melbourne in a health food store. So I went to Melbourne and did a health food store, and one of the boys' wife had a rose flower business where she would go to all the restaurants in the Dandenongs and sell roses. Yeah. And she didn't want to do it anymore, so I bought the business off her, made enough money to go, well, what can I do? I want to go to America. So I go to America. And I think what I did in America was anthropology that led me to nutrition, and I went back, and I keep thinking, if you don't move, if I didn't get off my butt, didn't like that science degree, and I went and didn't go to the snow and the cascade of events that happened, and I never was looking, I'll be happy when I finish my degree. I was just doing my degree.
Yeah. Which begs the question, when you do sit on your butt or do sit there wallowing in self-pity, or you do feel like life's against you, it's not fair, and you withdraw, what are you missing out on?
Yeah.
what's the life that's unlived? You know, it's quite freaky, the opportunities that will pass us by when we sit in that space.
And I think the one that we're doing right now, which is, you know, waiting for the future, you think you're going to be happy when you get to the future, is also part of, you know, staying in the present, as we said in 4. So we've got staying in the present, not, you know, thinking that, you know, when I get married, when I have children, when I have grandchildren, when I leave my wife or husband, when I do this, and I'm going to be happy. But it is about, you know, keeping moving forward and doing, you know, those things.
Absolutely.
So that was day 5.
And neroli is the oil I've chosen for that.
I knew you were going to say that.
Did you?
I did. I don't know why neroli came to me. Actually, as you were talking about frankincense, I was thinking about neroli, and I went, well, neroli will be the next one. I did, because they're very similar, you know.
Both those two are very high vibrational oils, and they're very, very potent. The neroli is also the oil for de-stressing, and often when we're worrying about the future, or when we're waiting for the future and we're not participating, there's a sense of non-transforming. So neroli is one of the most sensual transforming oils you will come across. I think it's a beautiful oil for that. And it's a gorgeous oil to wear as a perfume. So if nothing else, if you're waiting for the future, get up, go and put a drop of neroli on your perfume points and watch what happens.
And it's about participating. It's about not waiting for what's going to happen, but participating in your life and going with maybe those impulses that say, hey, I'm not happy where I am right now. What is it that I need to do in order to get out of this? And where do I want to go? Ooh, let me go do this, you know. I just think, you know, even from university, and I went hiking for 2 months after university, and the people I met and the things I learnt, and it all had to do with nature and food and going back to basics and living with less and not having any retail therapy, Carren. Not any. I never saw a shop for 2 months.
No, that would probably break me.
Oh, she sees that, but we know damn well that she could live so without shops, really. I think what you're saying, you think about that.
But if she lives without shops, I'm not sure she'd live without the internet. She's very good at that.
Correct.
You know, I've seen her at the back of a seminar room buying rings.
Or on No Spend February buying footless shoes.
Correct. But it was on credit cards that I paid off on the following.
You know what I'm realising? The more we're talking about this, the more I think of happy people are people that are participators. But some people do participate, whether it's learning or training or going to things or creating functions, whatever it is they are.
You're experiencing.
They're very, very experience-based.
Well, I've actually added that to 23. We're going to make that 23 participate in life. Well, they will have participated by the time they get there. All right, so that was, you know, waiting for the future. So our positive of that was keep moving forward.
Or participate.
Yeah, you know, keep moving forward on what you're doing, you know, and learn. Now, I love this one, number 6, having a lack of hobbies. So this is what this person says. He or she, I feel like it's a male, but I don't know. Before I even get started, your job, house cleaning and watching TV are not hobbies.
Your job, house cleaning and watching TV
are not hobbies. But you know what I had to tell you?
What about watching The Matrix?
Okay, he didn't say movies. He did not say movies. But you know what? As I read that, I went, but my job is my hobby. And it's not a job, it's what I love. And I know yours is too, Carren and Kim. When I say yours, it's our hobby, because this is when I realised it was a hobby. So hobbies are activities that you can become passionate about. I would say we're all pretty passionate about what we do. Hobbies are something that you can do when you have 3 hours of free time on a Thursday night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, mine would be I would be listening to nutrition things or reading a nutrition book. I love doing that. Hobbies are skills that could potentially earn you money. There you go. Earn you money if you become good enough at them. Happy people tend to have hobbies. Whether your hobby is kickboxing, playing the guitar, swimming in the ocean with sharks,
right?
Running.
Say that.
A weekly 6:30 morning swim. No, it doesn't say that. Playing a guitar. Would I've said that? Basket weaving.
Basket weaving.
I can see you all doing basket weaving.
I don't think so.
Hobbies give you something to do with your free time and give you some time for you. This is time you are investing by yourself. Group hobbies are also an added benefit of giving you additional socialising time.
I'd call podcasting a hobby.
I would call podcasting a hobby. Yeah.
One of them.
Yeah, one of them. So I just put as a positive on that was enjoy hobbies.
So what if somebody is just so busy with their work, or their job, or their business, and they're so busy with it, but come the weekend, they're just exhausted and they don't have time for anything else. They don't have energy for anything else. And what if you don't know what you want to do as a hobby? What do you suggest?
You know, that was one of the things that I was listening to this gentleman, Rosenberg, last night, who does nonviolent communication, and he actually said that the problem most people have in their lives is that they don't know what makes them happy.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do with their life. They don't know their life purpose. So if you don't know those things, how do you figure out what you do like as a hobby? So which comes first? Do the hobby and then you find your life purpose?
Well, think about just things that, if you want to make it really simple, just think about things that in the moment make you feel okay. So for some people, cleaning houses, I know that sounds bizarre, but for some people, cleaning houses or decluttering or making that, some people make that their job and their passion. Look at a lot of these businesses that crop up around the world are all based on people's passions or people's belief systems and things like that. So, I mean, for me, things like cooking, I would never think that was a hobby, but when I think about it, it makes me feel really good when I do it. And when I'm stressed, I'll go and cook. If all else fails, go cook. But it's like...
Whereas Karen's face goes, no.
Yeah, but because as a mum though, and it's the hub of the home, and I know maybe when my children leave home it might not be as much, but right now it's something that I love to do. So think about things, if you can't think of a hobby like playing a guitar or doing a calligraphy course or something like that, then just think about the things that you enjoy doing that you get satisfaction from, even if it's minimal satisfaction. Some people, for instance, love renovating. Some people love painting. My brother sent me it. I rang my brother yesterday and he sends me a photo of him and his girlfriend painting the back of their bookshelf. And they've tried 3 times and he's not a home handyman. She's not a home handy person. So they've been to Bunnings. They spent an hour and a half there. They got hangry, had to go and buy something to eat, went back to Bunnings and all this. Meanwhile, I went, I'm done. Keep it white. Yeah, that was my reply. Just keep it white. They went, no, we want to make the back of it blue. It'll have a nice... 3 times, because the first time they did it and then it just peeled off like rubber. They obviously hadn't prepared it properly or hadn't used the right paint or something or other. So on the 3rd time he's ringing me and he goes, no, we're doing this and we've got it sort of painted. No, we're painting it blue. We've done it the 3rd time. I went, give up. It's not your hobby. Go buy a new dog. Pay someone else to do it. But you know what? They then sent me the finished photo and went how much they loved it. And I went, so I'm not saying that was a hobby, but out of the satisfaction, I would say one of my brother's greatest skills is finding a solution.
Like, you know, it's interesting that you should say that. Matt he's an interesting little creature. My little Jeffrey, who's not little, my Jeffrey, he has a business and he's flat out in the business. And when he comes home from the weekends, you know, he wants to do fun stuff or whatever. But you know what's really interesting? We are renovating a place at the moment. And 5 a.m. he's up and gone.
Because he's excited.
Well, do you know? And when I ask him, he goes, oh, no, I don't like it. No, it's crap. It's hard work. But we've renovated 3 or 4 places now. And it's when I see him come alive. Put a rubber mallet in his hand and let him destroy a brick wall. He's having a fabulous time. And all weekend, and it just made me think about that, Kim, what you just said then about your brother. Is like, for Matt, it's the same thing. Matt, you know, he's got his muscle car that he likes to play with, but, you know, for him, if he can be building something or making something or repairing something, he's on fire, he's animated. He's exhausted, but he's animated. And it's awesome to see it. Beautiful.
There's a real difference, isn't there, between feeling exhausted with overwhelm and hating your job and hating that to exhausted from just, I couldn't have done another thing in my day.
But it was awesome. Yeah,
it was a great day. Yesterday I had the same thing. I got up, I couldn't wait to get up. I woke at 4, started doing emails, and because I always think if I can catch things between 4 and 7, I'm already 3 hours ahead of everyone else, in the sense that I've done things that no other people might have done. Then I did a little, and I went for my first run yesterday.
Oh, did you?
In 6 months. So I did a little run, and that felt amazing. Worked on my computer all day, writing programs and stuff like that. Helped Jacob. We went and sourced the internet and went and bought him a bench press because he's bulking, as his words. And then at 6:30 last night, I realised I hadn't quite finished. I wanted to have my cars cleaned by the weekend. I'm out there, it's dark, I'm cleaning the cars, but it was like, I got into bed feeling like, yeah, baby, I've done it. I was exhausted, but felt so good that I got into bed knowing I'd done these things. So
can life become a hobby?
I was just going to ask you the
things
same
of
thing.
life become a hobby.
Because I wouldn't say cleaning cars are my hobby, but my gosh, the feeling of it all being clean.
If it lights up your life, then why can't it be a hobby? Why? You're right. I love sweeping the floor. I have this.
Oh, you do?
I do. I have this. I almost bought a robo vacuum cleaner this weekend, and then I went, but I quite find this. I have this thing.
You're welcome to my robo-vac. You are welcome to it.
Oh, you don't like your robo-vac?
I'll give it to you with all the love in my heart.
I want to give it a go. I want to give it a go. I'd like to give it a go. But the thing is that I only have so many tiles. And I have this broom that it's not a broom, it's on a swinging arm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like the Inyo. And it's like this. This is how you sweep your floor.
Yeah.
And nobody can see what I'm doing, but I'm doing this swaying action.
It's rhythmic.
And it's very rhythmic.
She's doing a kahuna massage.
That's what it looks like. But I actually don't mind it. I don't mind when I have the time. It doesn't bother me. And then when it's done, there's no more dog hair on the tiles.
Right.
And it looks so good. So you've really got a robo.
Yeah. I got one for Christmas.
Because I saw the funniest thing recently, and it was a cat on the robo.
robo-vac. Was that on Facebook?
Yes.
Oh, it was hilarious.
Watching that cat stay on that robo-vac, and it gets hit up against the wall. And that's when I went, oh, my cat will just freak when it sees a robo-vac. It will be out the door faster than anything, not being on top of that thing. Oh, my God, that is too funny.
Hilarious.
Okay, so the oil for
Oil.
The oil that comes to mind for me is pine, because pine is a very inspiring oil. It's one for inspiration. It's one for when we're not feeling inspired, delighted. It's a very refreshing oil. It's intoxicating, and it's a great oil for inspiration. And that's why I always say to people, sometimes, lighting pine in your vaporizer or going into a pine forest, you can feel incredibly...
Oh, that's beautiful.
Incredibly focused. Just
enlivened.
You're just totally enlivened in a pine forest. There's something about it. So pine would be if you don't know what it is you want to do in life, go for pine.
Go with pine.
Cool. Okay.
Right, we're going to do one more, and then... we've
Are we
done
into that
7.
time?
We've only done 7.
Oh, my fat
Well,
ass
7 will
area.
be... So this is the first week. This works actually really perfectly, because we're going to do 7, and this is the first week.
Yes.
This will be the first week.
Yes, I love that.
So we'll do it week by week. So this is going to be a really easy one for everybody, because a bad habit of somebody who's unhappy is eating poorly. Well, that's their habit. So let me read what he said. He says, making bad food choices or eating too much is not only bad for your health, it can make you feel lethargic, guilty, depressed, and when done for extended periods of time, typically results in gained weight. Unfortunately, eating poorly is a vicious cycle. Oftentimes people eat to self-medicate when they are feeling down. They feel great for a few minutes while they're troughing. Yeah, troughing, that's right. Delicious treats, but then feel guilty afterwards, followed by lack of energy and reduced productivity. Eating healthy not only makes you have more energy, it also makes you look better, which makes you feel better about yourself. See, this is not me talking. This is not me talking. Not that we've said this for the last 100 hours.
It could easily have been.
It could have easily been me, but it's not me talking. Anyway, contrary to what the millions of fitness magazines out there will tell you, 90% of how you look is determined by what and how much food you put in your body. Thank you. Not how much time you spend running on a treadmill. Eat right, look great, and feel great. So the positive in that is... eat healthy. Just eat real food.
And if you are one of those people who eats for comfort, or you're one of those people who overeats to stuff your feelings, make sure that you jump onto my website, eatwithease.com, because we've actually got the next launch or the next intake happening in January. So jump on that's a 12-week program to help sort you out with your emotional eating and overeating and food addictions.
And you know what?
Great thing to start the new year.
Oh, it's a wonderful year to start the new year. And you know what? They should know what they should be eating if they have been listening to us for the last 100 and something hours of podcasts or 100 weeks. Because this is what we talk about. But if you're a newcomer and this is the first one you've heard, then, for your emotional eating, go to Carren. For what you should be eating, go to Changing Habits. And for what oil we need when we're eating, Miss Kimmy?
28.com. But interesting thing, even though you say, we've got a lot of listeners that have been following us for the whole 100 plus podcasts, I still think there's a lot to be said for understanding the emotions behind eating. Because even though they might be eating healthy, they're now eating lots of it. And they haven't learned to control portion sizes, or they haven't learned how to...
It's not what they eat, it's necessarily why they eat.
Yeah, and I still think that's quite a significant journey to understand, particularly if you've been brainwashed a certain way for so many years.
Exactly. And, what you eat, there's lots of information about that out there, as far as... And it's about figuring out what's good for you. But as far as why am I emotionally eating, it's... A lot of people don't realise... that eating bad food, it's like he says, or she, it's a vicious cycle, and we've got to get out of it. And so it's about, starting to eat healthy again, but also understand why you got into that position in the first place.
Absolutely, and most people don't know. They just eat the way that they eat. They eat the way that they're conditioned to eat. They don't know that they're emotional eaters, and they don't know that.
And do you cover in your course, Kaz, like people can learn all of this and they get it, but if your tribe is not of the same thinking, do you teach them how to deal with other people's...
we spend a good 3 weeks on that, because what we tend to do as emotional eaters and overeaters is we surround ourselves with enablers. So our environment lands up enabling our behaviour. So the people that we choose to have in our lives, our kids, the way that we condition our kids, our partners, the way we condition our partners, our parents, our work, the route that we take to work, all of that sort of stuff. It's all about the environment that we set up to enable our behaviour. And of course it's unconscious, it was done innocently, but it's about reconfiguring that whole environment, and it definitely does include the people in that environment. For sure. Because some people will have partners that will say, don't eat that, you're a fat thing, and, you shouldn't be eating that, stop eating, you eat so much. And that enables our behaviour, because that puts us into a negative emotional state, which then forces us to look for comfort. So then we go looking for more comfort. Or they could be in a relationship with a partner that doesn't say anything. They just get a disdainful look. So it's got the same result. Or they've got a partner who's completely disinterested. And again, same results. So the environment enables our behaviour. So it's about educating your environment to support your behaviour, not enable it.
And it's also, once I believe that within yourself you have respect for yourself. Because I'm just thinking of a situation I was in yesterday, and somebody had brought to the coffee shop some biscuits. Now, I didn't know how they were made. They had no idea who the hell I was. But I looked at the biscuits, and there was something that I went, well, I'm not going to eat them, but I'm also not going to ask a question. I didn't want to go, oh, what's that? What are they made of? How did you make them? Because I wasn't in that situation. So it's about having enough respect for yourself to not take it. Because it may be something that is not good. But my girlfriend Ricky actually ended up eating one. And she said to me, it tasted like it had custard powder in it, it had margarine in it. She said, this is what it tasted like, but I couldn't spit it out. So, it is about that self-respect. And I no matter what, like whether he wanted me to have it or not, I would not have taken it. I would have said, look, it's okay, no, I'm fine. And left it at that. Not what's in it, oh, I don't eat that stuff.
Sometimes it's not from judgment.
It's no judgment.
Self-respect.
It's your self-respect that you choose not to eat it, and nobody can convince you otherwise. Like going out for dinner and somebody says, why are you not eating that?
Are you pregnant? No.
Or why are you not eating that? And, well, you're on a special diet. So I think that...
It's challenging. It's definitely challenging, and it takes time. it takes time to develop that self-respect, but then it also takes time because you've got to develop the self-respect first before you can have the conversations with the enabling environment. But it definitely takes time, and it's a reconditioning process, because as much as you don't want to be judging other people for their food and what their choices are, you can also, when you go through this sort of transition, be on the receiving end of other people's judgments, because they are used to you being a certain way. They're used to you eating a certain way, and all we ever want is to maintain the status quo.
Yeah.
We don't want anything to change. We don't want it to be different. So, you can be on the receiving end of a lot of judgments. And in Eat With Ease, obviously, we talk to you about how to handle that. But it's a slow process. It takes time, and it takes a willingness to re-educate, but a willingness to not budge.
And also patience with yourself learning the information, because for some of us it's nice to actually be able to turn around with a fact or a scientific research paper or something we've read or something that really becomes our own way of speaking, and that can take a bit of time to learn and feel that confidence.
For sure.
Now, Carren, you said it takes time.
Yes.
And Kim, you said it takes patience. Yes, it's taken me a lot of time and a lot of patience to train all my friends to eat like me.
30 years. I'm converted.
No, I mean, eat real food. Yeah. And I'm serious, like
true.
30 years ago, 25 years ago when I moved to this town, nobody ate the way I ate, and they thought I was a really weird one. But now, all my friends eat the same.
It's so true.
Time and patience, 25 years, but I've done it.
And our husbands are coming on the
Yeah.
We met up with James from Food Matters on the weekend as well. He was having a cup of tea with us. And he turned around and he was going to come for dinner and asked what he eats, what he doesn't eat. He goes, actually, I'm a qualitarian.
Yeah, I love it.
He goes, sometimes I'm raw, sometimes I'm vegan, sometimes I'm paleo. But he goes, no matter what, the whole way through, I'm a qualitarian. And we both went, oh, we liked it.
I did like that, because I asked him around for dinner and I said, well, what do you eat? Because I don't know whether he's a vegan, vegetarian, paleo, whatever. And it was a really good answer. I'm qualitarian. I'll eat anything, but it has to be quality.
But also too, he said he goes in phases. Sometimes he really does like being raw vegan, and sometimes he really is on the paleo kick. And I thought, oh, I like this man.
Yeah, because it's flexibility, isn't it? I mean, it's not being one way. It's being open.
And also respecting everybody's choices and beliefs and what they want to do with that.
Absolutely.
Okay. So the oil, by the way.
Oh, yes. Did you take oil for eating? Well, no, that's what we're doing.
This is what we're doing now.
Oh, I'm like going,
the oil
I've got
eating.
time. Where are we at?
Well, what do you think would be the oil for eating?
Oh, it has to be a food. Lemongrass?
Well, no.
Oh, I love lemongrass.
Yeah, okay, wait. Lemongrass.
But think about, if it's a negative aspect of eating, what's something that helps us when we feel bad about what we've eaten?
Peppermint?
Yeah. So peppermint is the oil. It also stops hunger pains. It's a great oil when we feel upset with ourselves. It's a cleansing oil. It's very refreshing. It's beautiful to use with food. Excellent in the chocolate. But it is a beautiful oil for clear thinking. And often when we're emotionally eating, we're not thinking clearly.
True that.
Or we think we're thinking clearly.
Okay.
But we're not.
So can I do a summary? And then we'll close and we'll go to
start again next week.
Okay.
How exciting.
So the first day is to stop complaining. No complaints on the first day. Second one is to create experiences as opposed to retail therapy. Third is to laugh at 5.
Laugh at 5.
Laugh at 5. Fourth is to stay in the present. Fifth is keep moving forward. And don't think you're going to be happy tomorrow because you're having a child or whatever.
Don't wait to be happy.
Yeah, don't wait to be happy. That's a better one. Don't wait to be happy.
Yeah, be happy now.
Enjoy hobbies. Find hobbies. Enjoy hobbies. Whatever it is that you love, enjoy what you're doing. And the last one is healthy eating. And the oils that you will need is geranium, basil, orange, frankincense, neroli, pine, and peppermint.
Beautiful. Perfect. Well, we hope that you guys have absolutely loved today's podcast. This has been really, really fun, and I feel quite relaxed in the zone. So we hope that you guys have enjoyed it as much as we have. So go to our Facebook page and post all of your comments, and also tell us your top 5 to 10, however many you've got. Tell us all of your top secrets to staying happy. We're going to compile a list of what the top 22 are that you guys submit to us. So go to the Facebook page, which is allthews.facebook.com/up for a chat. Now, before I go any further, I just want to remind everybody that we've got Awaken the Change Within coming up. We've still got a handful of tickets left, and that particular event is going to be held in Mooloolaba. That's where the three of us get down and get deep and get dirty for 3 days of intense transformation, looking at your mind, your body, and your soul. You don't want to miss it. It's a perfect time to rejuvenate after a big year that everybody has had. So go to the website at allthews.awakenthechangewithin.com and grab your seats and your tickets there today. You can also post your comments at allthews.thewellnesscouch.com/up for a chat. And we're going to see you here next week, where you get to be part of the ripple effect that's changing the world. We'll see you on the ride. Bye for now.
This has been a production of TheWellnessCouch.com. Check us out on Facebook and join in the conversation on Facebook.com/TheWellnessCouch. Subscribe to each show on iTunes and check us out on Twitter. The Wellness Couch, streaming wellness into your lives. Whilst the Wellness Couch presenter endeavor to provide accurate and helpful information to their listeners, these podcasts cannot take into account individual circumstances and are not intended to be a substitute for health and medical advice from a qualified health professional. You should always seek the advice of a qualified health professional before acting on any of the information provided by any of the Wellness Couch podcasts.